All right. So, welcome back to another Sinister Sunday, everyone. Glad to have you here. A return after a short break after not doing them for maybe a week or so. Tonight's episode is going to be so basically our favorite horror films, some of our favorite horror icons, and then later on we're going to be chatting about coming horror, maybe discussing our thoughts on some of the trailers that have kind of dropped, and maybe what we hope comes out yet. So, yeah, I want everyone to welcome our guests. That being the new kind of rebellion family member here, Matt from the Green Iron Cannibal channel. Excellent stuff. A lot of updates on death metal, metalcore, etc. Just a lot of pretty cool stuff that he shows up. So make sure you go check it out. And then as well a fan of our channels and a supporter of all of the Rebellion family here, Mr. Bellinger. Welcome to the channel, man. Welcome to the stream, I mean. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you out there in the future enjoy our commentary on horror. So I guess we'll start off with maybe going through each person's horror movies or horror movie characters. We'll let the guest go first and see what he thinks. So Zane, tell us a bit about your favorite horror movies and your favorite horror characters.
All right. My first ever horror movie that I watched when I was 5 or 6 years old was the original Dracula. I love the Dracula because Dracula is a vampire and he's like almost like the king of the darkness, basically, but he's a vampire. But they made another version of that called Ram Stoker's Dracula, the color version of that. What I thought about that one, they did something different in that one. The original Dracula didn't have no boobs or nothing shown, but this one did.
Right.
And Queen of the Damned, why do I like Queen of the Damned? Because of Lestat and Akasha. Akasha was the Queen of the Damned, and Lestat was like her own son, but they fell in love with each other. And why are they my favorite two characters? Because they're vampires, and they were like the Egyptian times back in the old days. What other horror movies do I like? I like The Nightmare on Elm Streets because of Freddy.
Nice.
Because I like his little saying that he always says, "Get over here, you bitch."
Yeah, he likes to say bitch a lot.
Yes, he does. Then the other ones I like is Chucky, the horror movie Chucky.
Yep.
And all the child plays. My most favorite one I gotta say out of the old movies is Lost Boys. Has to go with Lost Boys.
Oh yeah,
it's a classic.
It's an old classic, but it does have some funny key parts in it.
Got some Lost Boys picture right there.
Nice.
Dude, hold up. Just hold up. I got the movie. Hold up. Feast your eyes on this.
Nice.
I actually got the movie.
Very nice, man. A definite must-have in every horror aficionado's collection, for sure.
And the other movie that I'm looking forward to is seeing Lord of Chaos. I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah, man, same.
Yeah, because they say it's mostly a black metal horror movie, which is true because both the guitarist and singer killed someone or they did something bad and they just made a movie out of it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's loosely based on like real life events, but it's made tailored to the mainstream audience. So it won't be like 100% truthful or accurate, but but for entertainment purposes, I'm sure it'll do just fine. I hear some of the death scenes are pretty gory and whatnot. So if you're a fan of gore, it's in there.
Oh, dude, I'm a big fan of gore when it comes to blood and guts.
Fair. Would you say that you're more of a fan of supernatural horror films and like splatterfest kind of films?
Yeah, it's like my other favorite movie that I forgot to put in with the movies I like is the chainsaw movies, or Saw is what they would call them.
Now, are you talking about Saw, or are you talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I'm talking about both the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Saw.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, before the stream started, we were kind of chatting about James Wan from the Saw series, looking at doing a horror DC film based on the Trench from Aquaman. So that should be pretty cool.
What, the Aquaman? Dude, that sounds epic. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, yeah, it should be interesting because with James Wan mixing in some horror into his universe, it should definitely mix things up a bit and do something that even Marvel hasn't attempted yet, which is kind of the more horror side of things with their superhero movies. So I'm interested to see where it goes, and hopefully it'll be kind of a new element for it. So yeah, should be good.
Well, the other movie that I forgot to put in here is the Toxic Adventures. Those ones were hilarious.
I actually never seen the Toxic Avengers film. If there's one or two, I'm not sure, but I do want to eventually see them. They look they're probably pretty old and a bit dated now, so it might not have the same effect as back in like 1970 or made. But yeah, I definitely have that on my list of things to eventually see. And there's actually rumors that there might be a Toxic Avenger remake for modern times coming out in the future soon. So yeah, good call, man.
What? Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. All right, so let's move on to Matthew. If you could let us know what some of your favorite horror films and or horror icons are, that'd be awesome.
Well, my dad's a horror fanatic, and so I've known about horror movies and have kind of liked horror movies off and on throughout my childhood, even though I was never a huge fan of them. I remember at one point I first saw Friday the 13th at a friend's house when I was in middle school, and I haven't seen it since, but to my memory, obviously I was scared a bit, but it was still a great movie. We were talking before the stream, The Conjuring and Terrifier. Those are two of my current favorites. Art the Clown, which is basically the main character from Terrifier. That's one of my favorite characters. I like clowns in horror movies. That's
nice.
Shit never freaked me out to any extent at all. Some older ones. The Shining, I've seen that once. That was pretty great, especially since it's based out of a hotel in Colorado, which is the state I'm from, and I love anything movie related that's based out of something in Colorado. The Nun is another great one. I think it was The Curse of Chucky. That's the only Chucky movie I've seen to my memory. That was pretty great. Chucky dolls also, like dolls and clowns, those are great in horror movies in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Truthfully, I don't really watch that many movies just because I have a short attention span. I much prefer TV shows and stuff. Which, speaking of that, there's one on Netflix. It's like based around like true stories that have happened to people. It's the episodes are like 30 minutes long. It's called The Haunting, I think. And it's like everyone just sits in like a circle or something, kind of like some therapy session, and then they all talk about it, and then in between there's like these acted out scenes of what happens, and it's pretty cool. There's some pretty creepy stuff on there that I think some people would like. Nothing too gory, but you know, there's jump scares, there's the suspense in it. It's just really great.
I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to your channel too, bro.
Cool, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Matt, have you seen that Silence movie, Dead Silence, with the dummies in it?
Yes, Dead Silence. One of my other favorite horror movies right there.
I can't remember. I think I might have. It definitely rings a bell as something I might have watched, but if I have, it's been a while, so I probably don't know. Can't remember too much of it anymore, which is unfortunate.
It's all good, man. It's also by, I think, Twisted. Pretty either like Blumhouse or James Wan related. It was a while back, like it was early 2000s. So yeah.
Yeah, I might have, but I don't know. Like, my dad's a horror fan, so he has a whole bunch of stuff on DVD because he collects physical music and DVDs and stuff like that. So I'll ask him about it once this is done, see if he has it.
Ooh, that is cool that your dad is such a big horror fan.
Yep. A lot like music and horror. I got that from my dad because he also collects physical music, and you know, look at what I've done. So
Yeah.
This is actually enjoyable. I like this.
Nice.
Man, it's always nice to have a guest or two on the show to spice it up and make it interesting every now and then. Your favorite horror icon is, or like serial killer, Matt?
Well, like I said, Art the Clown from Terrifier. He's basically a serial killer. No, it's not. The movie isn't as big as it. I feel like if it was, like, Art the Clown would be just as big as Pennywise from it, just because how he looks is so much more creepier in my opinion. So I guess that kind of sums up both of them.
Pennywise. I have seen the old It movie. That was very interesting, actually. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. I haven't gotten around to seeing the new one, unfortunately, because like I said, I have a short attention span. Just so, like, actually getting to sit down to watch a movie is kind of difficult for me sometimes. But then there's times I can get through it. But I've seen.
Yeah, man, fair enough. Sitting down to like a 2.5 hour movie, if you got better things to do, is probably a little difficult for sure. Yeah. And yeah, Ron is a pretty cool character. I did see Terrifier on Netflix fairly recently, within the last couple of weeks, I think. And yeah, I was definitely missing out. That was a really good film. And apparently, apparently he's in other films as well. They're like short stories or something.
Yeah, I think I've heard that being mentioned by some people. I haven't watched those ones though, so I can't really say anything about it.
Definitely gonna have to hunt them down and see if I can't find them somewhere, because that character was pretty creepy, and just that like upside down was like just made it like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
That was creepy. I think I heard about Terrifier. I've seen that movie. It was very creepy.
Yeah, Michael, if you've got Netflix, definitely go look up Terrorizer. It's worth it. If you're a fan and creepy clowns and just like chicks getting slaughtered kind of horror films, it's definitely one of those. Not for the weak of stomach, that's for sure.
Yep.
All right, I'll definitely check out Terrorizer.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Gory is all hell too, and I know you like that.
Oh, trust me, man. I've seen some of the craziest gore movies. I can't even explain how much blood and guts I saw.
Nice.
fair enough, bud. Well, let's move along here. Let's talk to Lord Husk here. Let's get some of his and icons. All yours, bud.
I actually got a couple, like, actually 6 movies prepped up already and stuff. A lot of people don't know this, but I do have one favorite zombie film, and I don't have the whole collection, but there you go.
What? Resident Evil? Yes! Resident Evil! Oh my god.
This is actually one of my favorites out of the whole series. Only because they actually have Wesker in a major role in it.
Nice.
These 3 movies, most people will know. If you don't know them, you're missing out. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell to the fuck yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Now everyone can see this a mile away, but I do have actually 2 sci-fi horror movies in this, and one is the Alien versus Predator trilogy, and the other one's Alien Covenant.
Lord Husk, you are the best, man. I love Alien vs. Predator.
I appreciate that. My icons, because my horror icons was going to be basically like Freddy, Jason, all that, but be honest with you, I have to put it in 3 categories from those films. There's a match between Wesker himself, Captain Spaulding, and the Xenomorphs. Those are kind of like my 3 biggest inspirations.
Right on. Right
Definitely
on.
some good for sure.
And as some of you guys remembered, last year I actually did a Captain Spaulding outfit. Well, makeup-wise, basically.
Dude, that is epic. That's cool.
Yep.
Definitely well suited for that character for sure.
Yep, all I was just missing was his outfit,
So
and that was it.
Hell?
I'm actually wanting to see that extremely bad.
So
Yeah, I can't wait to see how Rob Zombie explains how the rest of them come back after getting shot a million times at the end.
Right. What makes me right, because that question has popped up in my head, but the biggest thing I want to see is how bad he made Otis in this one, because Otis was pretty bad in The Devil Rejects.
Yeah.
Hey, Lord Husk. Check this out.
Nice.
Never
Nice.
opened it, never open it, and never going to.
I wouldn't.
I have both. I have Freddy, I have Jason, I have Jigsaw, I have Leatherface. All I need now is the Chucky one and the Beetlejuice, the girl from the Beetlejuice.
Isn't her name Lydia?
Yes.
Pretty sure the girl character is called Lydia.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But there are definitely some good films, definitely some excellent horror icons indeed. Let's bring it over to Azag from Azag's Abyss and get here horror films and horror icons.
Sure. Yeah, I'll kind of start with some of my favorite characters. I mean, it's hands down Number one's got to be Pinhead from Hellraiser. And I think just his overall grimness and just evil fuck, man. I mean, just it was one of the first horror movies I saw when I was little. I mean, my mom kind of dubbed the horror movie as my babysitter because I was a little asshole and it was the only thing that kept me quiet. But just, I don't know, it came down to his voice more than anything. It was, at the same time, it was completely terrifying, but it was also oddly soothing for some reason. I don't know, it's kind of weird for me, but definitely Pinhead. I mean, his one-line quotes are fucking amazing. So
I like Pinhead too.
After that one, the Regan McNeil character from the first Exorcist, mainly because that was the first character that scared the shit out of me growing up. Can't beat that. Just the look on her face towards the end of that movie kind of stuck with me for a few years, and I still revisit that every couple months and watch it. Just awesome shit. Keeping with the Exorcist franchise, that creepy old lady from the third one with the fake telephone, she still creeps me out to this day. But really, then after that, it's a lot of classics. Like any Vincent Price film, Vincent Price character. I mean, it was just a classic. It's what got me into horror. Gage from the original Pet Cemetery used to creep me the fuck out. Those little giggles and running around. But aside from that, definitely the Hellraiser franchise and the Evil Dead franchise are probably my favorites. Exorcist, all the Rob Zombie films are amazing. The Conjuring series, and really pretty much any B movie is probably in that category for me too. But that's pretty much it for my favorite characters and franchises and stuff like that.
Pet Cemetery, dude. I watched that. That cat freaking scared the crap out of me, dude.
Old church.
Yeah, the old church and the animal cemetery, dude. When I first watched, I was probably like 8 or 9. And my mom's like, "Hey, you want to watch something with me?" I was like, "Sure, what is it?" Pet Cemetery. I could not get over that fact of that cat freaking laughing and screeching and screaming like a dead zombie cat.
Oh yeah. And probably another one I'd throw in there is that creepy little preacher kid from the first Children of the Corn. He was a creepy little bastard too. So that was another awesome. I like the first couple of those, were pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's look good. I like Hellraiser too. One of my old favorites too.
Oh, hands down, my favorite movie of all time.
Me too, man. Me too. I'd like to get a tattoo of him somewhere.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. But I mean, for Hellraiser, man, I've got so many, I have replica boxes, I have vinyls, all the soundtrack scores. I mean, I have posters, movie posters, stuff that I've ordered. I mean, it's all over my house. So, I mean, my house is kind of a Doug Bradley tribute. It's kind of pathetic, but he's hands down my favorite of all time. So.
Definitely, for sure. Have you seen what was it, Hellraiser Revelations, with the guy that played Pinhead, Doug Bradley?
Yeah, I saw both of the new ones, Revelations and Judgment. I didn't really care for Revelations a whole much, but I actually did enjoy Judgment. I thought that was actually pretty cool storyline, how they kind of humanized him a little bit at the end. But no, I thought the characters were pretty good, but I still have a hard time letting go. It's the voice isn't there for me, and Doug Bradley, it just goes back to his voice for me every time.
I also have Hellraiser Revolution too. I don't have the first couple of movies though, but I'm trying to get as much horror movies as I can.
All right, cool, man. Well, as for me, horror films are pretty much the classics, as you guys have been talking about. The Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday the 13th, Halloween, even though Halloween 2 isn't canon anymore, apparently. Basically, Michael Myers and Jason are probably my two favorite horror icons. Just like these serial killers and masks kind of really do it for me. Even kind of Thin Bloody Murder with Trevor Morehouse, that one from that really odd B movie that sort of looked like Jason, was kind of neat. Fuck, I don't know where it is, but it's basically another semi Jason ripoff. It's got like a mask, and I think it might be called Horror Night, and he's got like this weapon that's kind of like this blade looking. That was pretty neat. Basically just any kind of like slasher flick where the mask interests me, or even stuff like this. Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah.
Silence of the Lambs toque there. So yeah, any like cannibal related horror film does it for me. So like Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Rises. I actually wish they had a Hannibal Rises film besides just the one film, because Crispin Glover is an excellent actor.
Yeah.
And, he was in a movie called Simon Says like a while back, like in the 80s, I think. And he was also in a movie called the one where he's in control of the rats.
Willard.
Yeah, Willard. Thanks, man. But yeah, Crispin Glover is an excellent kind of horror actor for sure. Did all of you guys see the new Halloween that came out?
Yes, I did.
Not yet.
I haven't seen it yet, so
Oh no?
It's good. It's real good.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but they basically go right after the first film and kind of continue the canon from there, skipping all of the other sequels. And they don't really get what they don't do with Michael Myers is show his full potential, because Michael Myers is in a room full of like a SWAT team and just mow through them no problem. They never show him kind of just like going like a bunch of people, which he totally has the power and potential to do so. They always screw one or like a babysitter or something like that. So I don't know. They plan on doing a sequel to the one from last year. Hopefully they really open him up and see what he can do, if you know what I mean. Like it should be really good and anything, but don't really do much to further his legacy with the new one. But it was still good. I still have it on DVD. I'll do more of a rundown in a future video with the horror films to watch or avoid thing. But it's Jason and Michael Myers for sure. I also really enjoyed the Hellraiser series. Hopefully they can get that back on track, or Doug Bradley film maybe. I don't know.
I do like the movie called The Howling also.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like the werewolf transformation in that movie. It's so interesting how they use condoms for the guy's face. I mean, come on. Who would use condoms for a werewolf transformation?
Got me, man. Practical effects back in the day, you gotta use what you can, I guess.
I mean, it's funny, though, how they did that. Have you seen it?
nah.
You got to, bro. It's one of the best werewolf movies ever.
I'll take
I've seen.
I'll take a wall shot with it.
All right. That's fine with me, Lord Husk.
I think I've seen a bit of it back in the day. For me, I think it was a bit too slow. But then back in the 80s, all those horror movies, the pacing was just like watching paint dry on a wall. So it's kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
But at least back in the day, you had like real special or like practical effects and not like a bunch of a bunch of jump scares. Like they really built on the horror and suspense aspects of the films back then. So it's too bad they couldn't take the practical effects and the horror and suspense of the old days and mix them with the fast of the modern times and kind of just blend the two a little bit better.
I did like the London and the Wolf and London. Yeah, the Wolf in London was pretty good too. American Wolf in London. That movie is pretty good because of the werewolf transformation that they had in that movie, which everyone thought was a very good werewolf transformation as well.
Yeah, it seems like horror movies don't really give werewolves the respect and amount of films as they deserve. A lot of them focused on vampires and stuff back in the day when it came to supernatural horror films. There's some good ones like you said, American Werewolf in Paris and American Werewolf in London. I wasn't really a fan of the Howling series, and I only kind of watched. I don't know that, but yeah. Other than that, like there was, I think, the Wolfman with Jack Nicholson,
Ooh,
and then there was the Underworld series. But other than that, there wasn't really too much werewolf films.
Ooh. Underworld, I like Underworld too. I love the aspects of the vampires and the werewolves that they have in that movie.
In Underworld?
Yes. Underworld was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
What? Hold on, man. I'm on a live chat with my YouTuber dude. I'll be right there. Can you shut the... Sorry about that, guys. That was my little brother.
Going? You got to get going?
No, I can stay here for a little bit longer, then go eat dinner. I don't feel like eating dinner right now while I'm on this chat because it's too amazing.
To add on to that Underworld series, I personally liked it more than whatever werewolf movies you'll throw at me, because they don't use the typical word werewolf. They use lichens, which is another term for werewolf, but they had a more fancier name put on it. But they made the werewolves not look like werewolves. They made it look like more of a wild beast version of a werewolf, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, and they the reason why they call them lichens because they were half vampire and half werewolf. That's why they call it lichens.
I don't think that's correct. I think
a hybrid.
They're just called lycanthropes.
They're actually called lichens because that's another term that vampires gave them. But the hybrids were half vampire, half werewolves. They were the only ones who couldn't fully turn into a werewolf.
And Michael was
from the first one.
Michael was one of them.
Yes.
So there was a couple of trailers that came out recently. There was one for Happy Death Day Part 2, Pet Cemetery, and then there is one for the new Child's Play that came out. Do you guys have have any interest in any of those?
Personally, let me just get this out of the way. I think Happy Death Day is not even a horror film. It's just hysterical.
Yeah, it is.
Because what people don't realize, yeah, that's a real thing that could happen. Not a killer, but let's get down to reality here. Any day could be our death day, you know? Why should it be happy, right?
That's how some people want to go out.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely wouldn't want to get a knife in the back of my throat just because I want to be happy to die in.
It's also
But
only
no.
rated PG-13, so it's probably not going to be like, it's not going to be as good as any other horror movie too.
I know. I'm on a live YouTube video with my favorite YouTuber. Got interrupted again. My mistake.
But Pet Cemetery seemed interesting. I actually, what was I looking up? I was looking up a death metal band. I forgot what the name was. But Pet Cemetery was actually an ad. It seems cool, but it seems a little cheesy to me.
That's kind of how I felt. It looks like it has potential. I just hope they didn't try to overdo it.
Because the vibe I gotten from it, and this is a weird what's the word I'm trying to think? Putting it under, it kind of reminded me of, and I don't know why, like the game Until Dawn. For the PlayStation, it kind of seemed a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But without the cannibalism and people turn into whatever they were, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of had that vibe to it. Which technically I probably will go see it.
I'm looking forward to one and the new Child's Play. The Pet Cemetery one so far seems pretty creepy. Hopefully there's going to be like a lot of body horror and stuff like that in it, because if they can pull it off right, the kid coming back to life, the other guy that ends up coming back to life in it could be pretty creepy as well, because they're not just like zombies. I don't know if you consider it like possessed undead type of creature, but yeah. And then the hanging out in the woods just, I don't know, irk me the wrong way. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the Pet Cemetery remake. And once again, hopefully it's not like a bunch of jump scares. Hopefully they actually build on the suspense and horror. And the body horror, if they add it the right way with the special effects, could be really cool and creepy. I don't know if you guys have seen the new, but the new Child's Play looks interesting. Everyone's kind of shitting on it right now, from where I've kind of seen line. But in all honesty, the whole possessed doll modern age kind of seems a little hokey. So for it to have like the artificial intelligence aspect, where a company tries to give the doll like an actual thought process by a computer, and that, you know, chip in it goes wrong, makes it a little bit more believable and a little bit more interesting, because now it doesn't have, you know, human things like the Chucky from the original one would, because it's just the serial killer embodying the doll, and it might be a little bit more cold and calculated and emotionless, which to me, when serial killers have emotionless kind of just drive to kill, it's a little bit more creepy than someone that you could potentially reason with. So I don't know. The only thing that I'm wondering about this play is if it's going to have Brad Dourif's voice, like the voice of Chucky that we're used to. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, the trailers.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with exactly what you said to a T. I think it has a lot of potential, and I like the technology aspect of it, like you saw in the trailer, like it scans the kid's face and like all that stuff, and thought it was pretty cool. But at the same time, I think it, from what I understood, I don't think it's going to have an, Dorf's voice or anything like that in it. That's from actually, I read an article today where I think that the original crew is doing a TV show continuing the old storyline, so I'm not really sure what's going on, but still pretty excited about it. I think it has a lot of potential, just like Pet Sematary for sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to the new Child Play and the new Pet Cemetery because Chucky was one of my biggest idols back then. Because of his voice, sounds really creepy. And voodoo ritual that they did in that movie was pretty interesting too because it was in French. It was not like the African voodoo ritual type. It was in French. And hopefully they do that ritual again in this Child Play. That's what I'm looking forward to is the ritual that all those movies had and within it.
Yep.
Right.
For me,
Right.
Pet Cemetery.
We'll see a little bit more. Go ahead.
For me, Pet Cemetery seems like the one I'd favor more. Even though, like I was talking earlier, how like dolls and clowns, I feel like I lean more towards Pet Cemetery for some reason. Both of them could potentially end up not turning great, but no, I'll give glass half full for both of them. I'll see them. And then, of course, we don't have a trailer for it yet, but It Chapter 2, even though I haven't seen the new one. Bet that one's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to It Chapter 2.
Hopefully they do.
Has anyone seen the trailer for the movie called Us? It's another film. What's his name? Jordan Peele, the guy that did Get Out last year.
Oh no, I haven't seen that trailer yet. I should check that one out as well.
Yeah, actually, I just watched that a couple days ago on YouTube. That definitely looks interesting to say the least. Kind of an interesting concept. I don't want to really spoil it for anybody, but kind of a mind fuck watching the trailer. Really, it's like I didn't really know what was going on at first, but looks like it's going to be pretty gnarly.
I'm looking forward to watch that trailer. I might look it up after I'm done on this live with y'all guys.
Yeah,
Yes. Go ahead. I was just agreeing with him.
I was gonna say that I'm looking forward to seeing the trailer myself. I don't think I remember seeing it, but it definitely seems to be kind of like a hot commodity in the horror film community right now for up and coming directors since Get Out was released last year. So yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. What was the film called? Was it The Puzzle Room or something like that? I don't know. Basically, a bunch of people have to figure out a way to get out of the situation they're in. I think one of the scenes is like they're in a cabin and they can different ways. Fuck, I can't remember the name of that movie though. It's not The Puzzle Room. It's called something else. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
No, but I think that would be cool if they did make a horror movie called The Puzzle Room. That sounds very interesting.
Oh, but
I don't know.
I can't remember. I think it came out already, like late 2018. No, it's not called Cabin Fever. It came out like late 2018.
Is it
No.
Escape Room?
Yeah, Escape Room. Thank you.
Yeah, it came
Escape
out.
Room, yeah.
It came out on one of the first couple days of this year. I think the 4th, January 4th was when it came out. So relatively new.
Was it?
Pretty new, actually.
Oh, so it's 2019. Nice.
It's another one I'm going to have to watch.
Let's see here. There's also Zombieland 2 supposedly coming out this year, but I don't know. Did it get a release date this year?
I think they said that they just started filming at like the end of last year, like November or December. So they're going to have to do stuff real quick if they want to.
Yeah, it's saying that it's going to be out October 11th of this year, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
October 11th?
What was that?
I gotta see this.
Yeah. But like I said, I heard that it only started production or filming, whichever one, at like the end of last year. So if they want to get it done and in theaters by October, they got to work real quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most production put out a movie within 11 months to a year within its start production. So it'll be quick, but if they got everything set up the way they need to, if they're well prepared, they could put it out maybe October 17th. We'll see, though. It'll probably get pushed back a month or two.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's work through, kind of go over maybe what horror movies would you look forward to coming out with new installments in the future. They could get into production. Let's start off with Michael here again. So horror movies would you like to see in the future, or what sequels would you hope that gets made?
I hope they make a new vampire movie or a new werewolf movie or a new zombie movie. That's what I'm looking forward to. Or something in like the satanic vibe as well. Because I know there is horror movies that have that, but I don't know if they are going to make another movie with the satanic vibes. But I know that would be cool if they did a new Beetlejuice or a new Shaun of the Dead. That would be cool if they made another version of that as well.
Nice. I'm not sure if they're gonna make an Underworld, Underworld movie or not. Wouldn't surprise me if they did, and it went. They might do another one of those. I definitely would say that Hollywood needs to start related films, because to me werewolves are more interesting than vampires, but honestly from Twilight.
But the only thing that I do have to say about vampires, they're more faster than werewolves. That's why everyone thinks that werewolves are better than vampires.
It all depends on who's writing the character, I think. I consider it. Yeah, I mean, Universal is supposed to be and starting out with individual films, so hopefully they can do Dracula right this time around. They're trying to the Invisible Man. I'm not sure who's. I think oh, what's his name? Something 1L. Lee 1L? I think Lee 1L, who is actually in the first Saw film, tied up next to the professor. But yeah, he's, I think, heading the new Invisible Universal's Dark Universe. So yeah, hopefully we'll eventually see like a decent version of Dracula pop up. Maybe the Wolfman. That's for me to say, and I know a lot of horror fans are going to be like, no, but I want to see a modernized version of the creature from the moon. We
Me
sort
too.
of saw that in oh fuck that I'm not gonna remember the name, but we kind of got a version of that in the last year. The I think either deaf or blind woman who has like that, who's had like a secret, and who she's trying to help the creature that looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon escape, and they're like apparently getting it on with the sea creature looking thing.
Yeah.
I
Now
wish
the other movie
I could
that I
remember the
don't
name of
want
it.
them to make is another version of Twilight either. No more Twilight.
I
Come
don't
on,
think
man. No more freaking Twilight.
we're gonna have to worry about that. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna see any more Twilight related films.
Thank God, man, because
Um,
I
but
hated
yeah,
those movies.
so is there any other franchises that you want to see a sequel to in the future?
Yes, I would like to see a new Frankenstein movie if they ever make another one.
That'd be cool. I'm a huge fan of the Frankenstein films that's been put out, like I, Frankenstein, the
I'm a huge
Victor
fan of him because of the
Frankenstein
way
was
he looks.
okay. You guys
I
ever get
hope
a
they do
chance?
make another Frankenstein.
You guys get a chance to check out the Frankenstein theory? Pretty creepy, kind of like search for Bigfoot style
The
of film.
Frankenstein Thursday. Wow, never seen
No,
that.
theory. In theory. But yeah, definitely check that out if you can. Really, really good Frankenstein film.
All right, I'll definitely check that out.
But
Also,
yeah, cool, man.
I'm
Thanks.
looking
All
for
right.
a
Go
new
ahead.
blob too. Like a new blob, but I want the blob to be
blob.
more like different than the originals.
That would be interesting, especially if they modernized it. Yeah.
Because I know Rob Zombie remade that. That one was cool.
Did you say Rob Zombie remade The Blob?
Well, there was, I think, I don't know if Rob Zombie remade it, but I know that they remade the Blob, and you can actually see the way this thing kills. But I'm not gonna ruin it because I don't know if y'all seen it yet. But it's a remake version, and I saw it when I was like maybe 16 or 17.
I'll have to look that up. I don't remember hearing about that. Someone said that they should make a true to the source material version of Silent Hill. That was actually Pete. I think that'd be cool too.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a big hell yeah from me, man. A new Silent Hill movie would be good, especially if they could make it like the first or second one, where you're like running around town. There's fog everywhere. You run into those like flying demon things or that dog.
Dude, I love that movie. Silent Hills, that's like one of my most favorite, creepiest movies of all times.
Echoed Forest says to the dude with the Cookie Monster hat, I like your casualties resistance box. I have it too. I use the beer opener all the time.
What the? Okay, that's hilarious. They could just
Yeah.
put your name in there instead of calling you Cookie Monster Hat.
The,
Yeah, Season of Mist
the,
throws
the
some weird stuff in
guy's
the box.
name. His name is
Season
Matt.
of Mist throws some weird stuff in their box set sometimes. But yeah,
Well,
the Casualties one came with a beer opener, a patch, and a bandana, I think, along with CD. It was only like $20 too. I couldn't pass that up.
true, man.
Definitely
All
true,
right.
man.
Since speaking, we should see. Matt, what would you like in the future for any sequels to horror films or any like remakes or whatever?
I could potentially do a second movie to Terrifier. You know, the ending is kind of iffy, so it leaves the potential for it to just be a one-off movie, but it also has the ability to make a sequel. Fucking. I don't know. I feel like if there was another Conjuring movie, that would be pretty sick. Definitely be down for that.
I saw
That would be
I
cool.
already know there's another It coming.
That would be very interesting.
they actually are filming. I don't know if it's going to be called like The Conjuring 3, but they're filming another movie with the Ed Lorraine character. I don't know much about it, but I heard it started filming sometime this year.
Nice.
Yep.
I'd really be down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conjuring 3 and Annabelle 3 is currently. There's also rumors that the Crooked Man might be getting a film. So lots of stuff from the Conjuring universe, I think, is coming in the future.
Definitely down for another Annabelle movie too. That'd be sweet.
The Cricket Man, I've seen that. That was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Dude, every time when he jumps up, that freaking thing scares me.
Yeah. Someone in the chat says new beat. I agree, and I do believe we're probably going to get a new Evil Dead movie, maybe two. There's going to be a sequel to the remake we got a while back, and I also think there might be a Army of Darkness part coming as well, because there was rumors that Sam Raimi wanted to like merge the two universes from his series, a portal open up and have Ash come through and help the survivor from the remake. They're going to an Army of Darkness 2 or the Evil Dead remake part 2, but yeah, they're in the works. They just haven't announced anything yet.
Now, the Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead movies were very interesting. If they make another one, dude, I'm going to definitely have to look that up and start getting my mind onto a new Army of Darkness and probably the new Evil Dead if they ever do that and combining them in one movie. Hopefully, this one's going to be different than all the originals because the originals were creepy and funny and hilarious. Hopefully, Ash does go through that portal and help those guys out. But what if there's going to be like another creature popping out of that portal and taking that portal away to where he couldn't help them? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it just seems that at the end of Army of Darkness, if you watch the alternate cut, Ash ends up in the future because he drinks too many drops of the. And then at the end of the Ash versus the Evil Dead TV series on Stars,
Yeah.
at the end of that series, spoiler alert, at the end of that series, he ends up in the future as well, and they just kind of cut it there. So at the end of like the movie series and the TV, he ends up in the future. So hopefully for Army of Darkness 2, we end up getting to see the fruition of that idea. Because I think Ash having to fight Deadites in like a dystopian future would be amazing for a movie.
Yeah, I think since they're talking about the future of that being in that movie, that would be cool if they did show the future that he was in, and Army of Darkness 2 and Evil Dead 2 if they ever make those.
True, man. Matthew, is there anything else that you would like to see in the future horror movie wise? You still with us, bud? Matt?
Yeah. No, I think I didn't know you were talking directly to me or just to the whole group. I think pretty much we just touched on like everything that I would like to see.
All right, cool. I guess we'll move on to Lord Husk. Lord Husk, do you have anything in particular that you'd like to see in the future for horror movies, either a sequel or a remake or a prequel even?
Well, for like sci-fi horror, I've been reading information on a new Alien movie that's being in the works right now. I really want to see that. Hopefully, it's a pretty good one, like Alien Covenant. And honestly, I haven't seen any new movies of these being made, but basically, if they were to make another movie about it, basically I would love to see another Wishmaster and another Leprechaun movie.
Oh, Wishmaster.
What? Wishmaster? Yes. I love Wishmaster. That was a good that was a good horror movie as well.
Silent Hill actually sounds like a badass film if it was to be another one was supposed to be made. Just to add on to another horror character that I favor, it would be Pyramid Head.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I played the games and they made him basically the scariest monster out of everything.
Speaking of like a new horror movie, you know, it would have been very interesting if they took the Beauty and the Beast aspect to a horror movie.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Kind of
Like the original Disney movie, but in a horror form of that.
They probably have, but Disney probably shut them down.
That would have been messed up, man, because I think Beauty and the Beast deserves to be a horror movie, because that sounds kind of dark.
But they would have to change the whole entire script. They have to change the name of it and everything. Just more money on top of more money. But no, It actually would sound like a cool movie title because it would be interesting.
That would be interesting if they did, though.
Yeah, but I really love to see. Go ahead.
Did you hear that Disney is potentially looking at doing more films with Ridley Scott?
Yeah, I heard of that. Hopefully Ridley Scott does not sign with them, because the second he signs with them, that whole franchise is destroyed. Sorry, truth of the fact is Star Wars ended up dying once Disney took over.
Yeah. That could happen.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but Fox has been bought by Disney, and it's only a matter of like a month or two before they get production rights to all of Fox's films. Includes Alien, Predator, and stuff like that, Deadpool. However, Bob Iger film division heads over at Disney did confirm to the stockholders that he is going to be doing a rated section, like offshoot of Disney's movies, so you can have like an R-rated release, but it won't be like Disney. It'll be like a subsect of Disney that releases the like Predator, Alien, Deadpool, etc. So it'll still be rated R.
I just think,
Nope.
personally, this is my opinion, and whoever's a huge Disney fan, you can hate on me. I don't give a damn. Disney has stuck their hands into the wrong type of atmosphere. They're taking a sci-fi horror movie and they're going to try to make something out of it, which I would like to see. But if it destroys it, then
You don't want to see Mickey versus the Xenomorphs?
now here's an interesting thing, and this has been brought up into talk.
That was
Don't
a
put
good
that in-
joke.
I'm sorry.
Don't
That
put-
was a very funny joke.
Actually, that's what I'm worried about, is they might do that. But you see, when you thought about that, the first thing that went in my head is, oh my god, what happens if a chest burster breaks out of Mickey? That's gonna be 20 times annoying. No, a franchise I'd like to see put together with Alien would be a Star Wars franchise. Because a lot of people, or some channels I watch, they always talked about what happens if Star Wars and the Alien franchise was to be merged into one. What would happen? Who would win? Honestly,
Well,
I'd like to
that'd
see. I would like to see a movie out of that, because that could be interesting.
I'd be
Now,
down.
my theory on that as well, they should add the Predators as well in that mix.
Oh yeah, just
with
make
the
it worse.
Star Wars and Aliens all in one. Because Star Wars was my big franchise back then as well.
Right. I just think it would be cool because I'd like to see how a facehugger would latch onto a stormtrooper's head.
100%.
Just to see it. Just to see it.
Yeah, me too. It'll be very interesting.
I'm sure just use the Force to just remove it.
They're gonna technically make it probably a little bit harder. Probably. But even close, I mean, here's my theory. I honestly think the stormtroopers would lose. By a simple fact, they cannot fucking aim.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, any, and this is a sad thing because it's true. Any Jedi who uses a lightsaber, or Dark Jedi who uses a lightsaber against a xenomorph, you're gonna have that acid coming out of the xenomorph. So you're technically fucked either way.
Basically, because the xenomorphs do have green acid blood, so if it gets on the Star Wars lightsaber, it'll destroy it because it's very toxic, and it can destroy it instantly with one little spray of that acid from the aliens.
You gotta remember too. One xenomorph can make one nest. So technically, if it's in a part of the ship that no one knows about, you got an infestation. Which
xenomorphs
I hope
everywhere.
Disney does take this idea, because it'd be fucking cool. If not, then Ridley Scott and Lucasfilms can talk about it, because that would be interesting as shit.
Yeah.
So what would they call
because
it?
the
Like,
xenomorphs is like
I don't know what
because
they would call
can
it.
Make a lot of hives.
I don't know what they would call it. Just come up with a name. It would be fucking hard.
I don't know. Probably Star Wars Xenoverse.
I don't know.
I don't know, but that would be very interesting, though.
it would get dark. It would get dark really quick.
Oh yeah, it would.
Oh yeah,
That would be like
Star
the
Wars,
best horror film ever.
Make it
the
first R-rated
Jedi's.
movie.
Yeah, the Jedi's, the dark, and the Xenomorphs. The Xenomorphs will definitely win that war because the the Jedi's would definitely lose against them because the Xenomorphs have so much hives that there's no way ability of them Jedi's destroying the whole entire hive with just
Mhm.
lightsabers.
Now, here's another interesting fact. I'm taking some of you guys are familiar with Starship Troopers and stuff.
Mhm.
Heck yeah.
There was a
Yep.
death battle that people talked about. It was Xenomorphs versus the Arachnids.
Wow.
Now, that straight up sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Just to see how two type of bugs would coexist with each other, or how they would kill each other.
definitely.
I mean, what do you think, Azag and Matt and Jesse?
That would actually be a pretty sweet battle.
I think that would be definitely pretty sweet.
I just don't see how the arachnids will be able to hold up with with all the. No way.
Yeah, definitely no way.
I mean, unless they just had like fucking 100 to 1, something like that. I don't. It would be pretty interesting to see though how that would play out for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you think, Jesse?
Well, for Tuppers versus the aliens, um, the giant bugs in Starship, the slightly bigger than human size ones, they also have those fucking building size bugs that shoot like those plasma, right? So I don't know. I think the giant bugs might be able to take on quite a few of the xenomorphs. If you throw in there as well, I don't know. It'd be quite the battle royale.
Yeah.
I honestly really wish they would actually make that like a type of movie like that, because that would bring both franchises, people who like either Alien versus Predator or just Aliens, and then we got Starship Troopers. If you bring them together, see what I mean? It'd be a cool movie. I would actually buy a shirt of it if they have it.
Now, this is what I'm thinking too, Lord Husk. I think they should definitely make a new armor for the aliens, like make them have the stormtrooper armor or something like that. That would have been interesting.
I don't know. I mean,
Come on, it would be hilarious just to see a xenomorph in a clone
that's
trooper
kind of like
uniform.
tying into like Mortal Kombat now. It really is, and it's sad.
I'm just messing with
It'd be
you,
like,
dude. That would not be a good idea, anyways.
No, actually, true fact, Mortal Kombat X, they actually have a xenomorph who, um, put a alien inside, one of the creatures that have blades come out of their arms, and basically they're, was it, Jesse, you can help me out here, or someone can help me out.
Tarkatan?
Yeah, basically like his species, but there's a xenomorph like him in Mortal
Dude,
Kombat
that is
X.
cool.
Pretty cool, actually. But then again, it would be pretty interesting to see what and how interesting it would be to see a xenomorph break out of a stormtrooper's armor and how it would react.
Yeah.
Because if not many of you guys are known to this, if a xenomorph was to be inside your body, they're gonna try to. They don't have a specific choice, but let's say a facehugger plants a little alien in a captain's chest. Guess what? Now has the knowledge of the ship.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is interesting about this franchise, because an alien basically becomes smarter than a human being.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna go eat dinner. Thank you all for letting me on here. Nice meeting y'all, guys. I'll definitely describe to the dude that's wearing the Cookie Monster beanie.
His name is Matt.
Matt, I'll definitely subscribe to you, dude.
Thanks, man.
I think you're a really cool dude. So, bye, guys. Thank y'all for letting me on. Stay metal.
Cheers.
All right, no problem, Michael. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking with us, bud. Have a good supper. Cheers.
Oh, I will, man. Stay brutal, guys.
Take care, bud.
Take care. Bye.
But yeah, I
I-
think I'm basically done rambling.
No worries, man. I think that would be a cool idea. I don't know if the studio that put out Starship Troopers and are related at all to the ones that put out Aliens. So I don't know if Fox has the rights to Starship Troopers. I'll have to go take a look. But
No,
if they do, interesting crossover. So yeah, I would love to see kind of like a Predator versus aliens versus arachnid situation pop up. I don't know if they should do it in a Starship Troopers series though, because I'm aware that hasn't got much traction. I know they probably have around 3 or 4 different Starship Troopers films, but they're not really why I talk about them, except for kind of like horror nerds like us. So it would probably get better reception under the Alien series or under the Predator series. Like if Shane Black directed a Predator versus Arachnid or versus Arachnid, like Ridley Scott directed thing, maybe. But I don't think if it was like Starship Troopers was the title and then versus Xenomorphs, I don't think that would catch on as well. So I think either Ridley Scott or Shane Black, something like that, if they do have the rights to it at Fox. But it's definitely a good idea, that's for sure.
Yeah, that has probably intrigued a lot of fans too. I honestly think it would be, because even if the aliens lose, it would be one of those battles that he's just like, you gotta sit there and like, they really made a fucking film out of this.
There'd be bodies everywhere, like the troopers themselves, Marines or whatever from the Alien series. There'd be no one left.
You got the troopers from Starship Troopers. You got the Colonial Marines. So actually, that would. Just to think about it, if you think about it, we got 2 types of Marines, and then we have 2 types of alien species. It would be an interesting fight.
Yeah, definitely, man. Let's get Azag's words in here for the upcoming horror films and films he'd like, etc. So yeah, Azag, let us know what some of your hopefuls for the future are.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about it a couple times, but definitely some kind of sequel to that Evil Dead reboot. I'm one of the people that really enjoyed that reboot. I thought it was fantastic. Actually, the main character, Mia, is actually how it came about our kid's name. So we decided that for our daughter's name. So I thought that was pretty cool. So hashtag bring back Doug Bradley. Definitely a new Hellraiser movie with at least him as a voiceover or something, as in some form, or even if it's just a cameo for 30 seconds, like a pass the torch type thing, I'll be fine with that. But it hasn't felt the same. Like I said, I enjoyed the last movie, but that voice wasn't there, so I didn't get that chill, that I used to get. I'd like to see a wrap up on Jeepers Creepers. It's kind of a goofy horror franchise, but kind of see more of where it came from and how it ends type of deal. And really, I mean, we've already been talking about it, but more crossover films. I think crossover films are cool, like Freddy versus Jason. I've actually heard recently rumors that might be getting a shake-up or a sequel or something, but just more stuff kind of like that. And really just waiting for 3 from Hell. Really, once that comes out, I'll be good.
Yeah, man, for sure. You definitely, they did a sequel to Freddy versus Jason. I can't remember what stream it was, but I believe talking about how there was the Nightmare Warriors and Tommy from the Friday the 13th series, and Jason's niece or whatever team up to fight, you know, Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and stuff. Like, that would be a really cool crossover series if whatever production company could, you know, share the rights to it, because I definitely want to see it. I'd always wanted to see. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, they're too equally powered, or neither of them talk, so it wouldn't be funny or interesting. But, you know, that's of the other cast members to do that, to add the humor, to add the tension or whatever. And in my opinion, Myers and Jason Voorhees aren't equally powered. And in my opinion, we've never really seen the full power of Michael Myers in any of the films that he's been in, be it Rob Zombie's version series, be it the Thorn Worshippers version. So like 5 and 6, where they try to say that he's possessed by the demon Thorn, and therefore that's why he has his power. Even in Halloween 5 and 6, with saying that he's got the power of the demon Thorn in him, they still don't open see what he can really do to people. There's a scene in a hospital at the end of 6 where he's just like stabbing motherfuckers with a scalpel left and right. But even then, like, Myers can do huge damage. I think he's super powerful, and they just haven't let him show that on screen yet. So, clear-cut win. I think Jason Voorhees would have a challenge on his hands, and that definitely needs to happen on the big screen sometime.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of Hellraiser, since Ash from the Evil Dead series deals with demons anyway, why don't we versus Pinhead or like Ash versus Hellraiser kind of film? Like, that would be amazing. Trying to, like, Bruce Campbell trying to deal with like shit as serious as the Hellraiser demons. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, being my 2 favorite franchises of all times, if they did that, I could just die and just be happy. But that'd be insane.
Yeah, man.
You'd have those creepy one-liners from Pinhead with Bruce Campbell's just idiocracy. That would be amazing.
You'd have Doug Bradley going, "You opened the box, we came," and then you'd have Ash going, "But I like, it would be great. The dichotomy between the seriousness of Doug Bradley's Pinhead and the fucking juvenile joking humor of Bruce Campbell would just be an amazing kind of balance there.
That'd be sweet.
But we're more than likely to get a film than we are any of those, because I don't know what it is with the production studios thinking that the mainstream audience can't handle like 100% horror and levity or some jokes being made to lighten it up a bit. So if we do get something like that crossover wise in the future, Ash versus Freddy, because they're both like jokey. Freddy Krueger has like his like "welcome to my world, bitch" and weird jokes, and he's always like one-liners. And then you'd have Ash saying his one-liners, so there'd be more like comedy than there would be horror. So I don't know. I could see a studio that out than something that's really horrific or iconic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to Jason X. Like, I know people are like, oh, Jason X is like the worst Friday the 13th film. if you think about it, like being up in space is already scary enough without having an immortal with a machete coming at you, where like one puncture of one of the side of the hulls and out goes all your air, and there's nowhere to run. It's kind of like a compact maze with this guy chasing you around in a ship. Like, and then on top of it, after they tried to kill him, like regeneration doctor's gurney thing that takes part of the ship and melds it. So now not only is he fucking super powered zombie, but now he's got like armor from the ship stuff through in atmospheres and survive. Now you have to fight that. Like, I know like everyone thought Jason in Space was lame, but man, Uber Jason was insane. Like, could you imagine like the sequel to that when he lands on Earth 2 are probably just a calm, nice, civilized society, and they probably don't have armies and weapons and stuff like that. And him doing havoc on that world, holy fuck. Give me that sequel.
Yeah, no shit.
I'd definitely be sick. Down with that.
Yeah, man. Crossovers that some people would like to see. I know some people want to see like Chucky versus the Leprechaun. But I don't know. I think that would be really cheesy. It could be funny, but like I feel like they would team up. I don't think they would fight each other. I think they would team up.
Honestly, I could see that. Why not just make a film about that? Them two teaming up from two different worlds. Just to see how they coexist with each other.
Oh, it's. I don't think it's a matter of lack of ideas or people thinking about these things. I think it's more of just like studios sharing the rights with each other and distribution for the film, because one studio having rights to a certain character and then finding distribution for it and its film, and having Studio A with their property and Studio B with their property getting together and talking about sharing it. Those two are trying to agree on what distribution person to send like all the DVDs and like film reels to the theaters. Quite a bit. Like, it's a miracle half of those things got made. So that's probably why we didn't see crossovers.
I mean, we did get a crossover, which was Freddy versus Jason. I didn't think that was going to get anything high rating, but when I went to go watch it, I'm like, holy shit, you got two immortals killing each other. What not better movie to have than this? That would be another awesome continuation too. It's the second part of that movie.
Right. Well, how much did the movie make in theaters, and if it's worth it to the studios to put out another one? And on top of that, I know to Jason and Crystal Lake and Friday the 13th are kind of in like copyright hell at the moment. There's owns certain characters from the Friday the 13th series, and there's another studio that I think owns like thing else, and then there's, I don't know, there's a weird copyright thing that's hopefully going to be solved soon, because I know one of the guys from Blumhouse who released, we're talking about, hey, if these copyright issues get sorted out, we want to do the new Friday the 13th. So
That'd be sweet.
So, you know, I should they could sort that out, because I need more Jason in my life.
Who doesn't?
Tyler Brummett from the chat says, if only Robert Englund could play. I think there was an article saying that Robert Englund might have one more Freddy appearance in him, and that's, I think it's more like he kind of needs the money. And so the idea of doing another Nightmare on Elm Street keeps sounding better and better to him over the years, because he just does B movies that probably have a budget of like, I don't know, $50,000, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna get it a second Halloween, hopefully next year. I know they're working on it already. A sequel to The Shining called Doctor Sleep coming out this year, around November. Interesting. I need to read my Doctor Sleep book yet, but yeah, looking forward to the sequel to The Shining.
Shit, I didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
"13 Ghosts." Jimmy Gray says the first horror movie I've watched back in the day was 13 Ghosts. That was actually, I think.
That was more confusing than anything else. Like, bluntly, like, how the hell is these ghosts killing people? You know what I mean?
Because
Don't get me wrong.
the writer said they could.
If the writer says that, I guess it's whatever. The ghost ship never made any sense completely then.
I don't think there's going to be a Jack Nicholson cameo in the Doctor Sleep, Tyler Brummett, but I think the actor who played Danny might be returning to play Danny again in the new one, so we'll see. And I believe there might be another Firestarter film getting. So if you're a fan of Stephen King films, there's a lot of those getting made this year and next. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, unless you guys have any other horror movies that you're getting forward to. The only one I can think of last minute here is maybe another Scream or another drummer, just to bring back those kind of like teenage horror flicks.
And I think we pretty much covered everything I'm looking forward to. I think there's probably a lot that I haven't even seen yet. Like, I didn't know we were getting a Shining sequel. I think that's killer, but that's pretty much all I had so far looking forward to this year.
Actually, there is one film I want to see, but I don't think the people who made Resident Evil have put any thought into it yet. I would honestly like to see a Resident Evil film only based on certain characters. See, my idea is like having a backstory of Albert Wesker, how he was created as a prototype, you know, like the game showed, but kind of have like a film version of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you mean like instead of like, let's say Alice or Leon or Claire, do a movie where it's more like
based on him.
Well, that'd be cool, but it'd be cooler a scientific horror approach to it.
Yeah.
It's where you're following the scientists and Umbrella and kind of a behind the scenes creation of the G virus and T virus, and how Wesker gets involved by the end of the movie, and then
basically Mm-hmm.
That would be sick. Yeah.
Basically, start him back on as I think he was the team leader of the group called Stars. Kind of have it back there and then go through the whole entire movie, you know? Because honestly, that is a very interesting idea.
So from
Because-
Umbrella's point of view, instead of the antagonists.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of
That's a good
Wesker.
idea.
I mean, I do have a Albert Wesker wallet, which I need to find another one because that's a good one. It would, because I was sitting there playing Resident Evil. I'm like, they got all these movies out. The lead role for the girl, the actress who plays as Alice, is not going to be able to do it. Why not make like stuff about Wesker and Umbrella? You know, the involvement between them two for this T virus, the C virus, the G virus, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be really good. I would definitely want to watch that. I think they're doing a Resident Evil like limited series on Netflix soon. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about that. I doubt that we're coming up with, but it's probably going to be involved with Leon and Claire. But yeah.
So they're
Netflix here or
backtracking
so.
to. So they're technically backtracking to Resident Evil 2, the game, when it's based on
More than likely.
I mean, it'd still be interesting to look at different point of views, you know.
Just trying to look up the Resident Evil Netflix thing here, see if I can find quick information about it. I'm do it. That's not it. That's the first fucking Resident Evil. Helpful right now. Resident Evil Netflix TV series reportedly in the works. For they declined to comment on the report. The plan is for the series to expand the Resident Evil universe and existing mythology. Reports say the series will keep the basic premise, which also served as a setup for the drama series will explore the dark inner workings of the Umbrella Corporation and the New World Order caused by. Hey, you might actually get a little bit of what you're talking about in this.
I actually am intrigued in it now.
I'll send you a link in the messenger of this article so you can at least read it, because this actually sounds kind of cool.
It does. Like I said, you know me. Once a Resident Evil fan, always one, right?
I mean, some people might not like Alice from the Resident Evil series and complain that Leon and Claire aren't in it, but other than that, like, it's a really good zombie series, even if you're not like, a fan of. If you're not a fan of the Alice storyline. But yeah,
it's like Retribution, the one I have. The guy who played as Leon played it too perfect. Like, it was a point to like, does this guy even know he's like on point with this? Because when they made Leon with a little bit of facial hair, which is funny because in Resident Evil 6 he actually had a little facial hair, which kind of started combining more. But no, that would be also interesting too to see, you know, kind of tie base into the video games, sort of, you know, without tying into it too much, you know, like the backstory of why Leon went to go save the President's Star. What was, you know, what happened then, you know?
Yeah, they definitely need to dig more into it. There's so much of the story that they could do for the films or a TV series, and I know lower budget, so the effects wouldn't be as great, and maybe the costumes wouldn't be quite as good. But I think a TV series would do the story and the mythology of Resident Evil a little bit more justice. So I'm hoping that comes out because yeah, for Resident Evil.
Right. I mean, you watched Afterlife, right? Or anyone in the chat?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay, the reason why I want to see an actual Resident Evil Wesker Umbrella backstory is because seeing how he fought in that movie, seeing how he fought in the games, like what created him to be superhuman, like had that backstory and everything on top of it. But try that.
Yeah.
But definitely try to introduce like the newer characters, like some of the other stars members and stuff.
I'm just trying to look around, see where my animated Resident Evil films are. I can't find them, but I got both the
Oh my god, I remember those.
the animated ones.
I think I
Yeah.
have one.
Those were actually really interesting, actually. Surprisingly. I know I think it's called Degeneration, I think it's called. It's something with a D, but it's basically I see it sometimes on Facebook. Basically where Leon and Chris are actually killing zombies together without trying to kill each other.
Yeah. Fuck. No, I can't get to it. I was gonna pull it out, but I can't find the damn thing. But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to the Netflix Resident Evil series, and they should definitely do more with the Silent Hill series. So.
Oh yeah, I would love to see another Silent Hill film. I was gonna say, yeah, I'd like to see another Saw film, but they've already made a decent one.
Yeah, it should just start off like the first or second one did, where the guy kind of like diner, and he's missing his daughter or whatever, and then he runs back out, goes down a side, see that kennel where it's like, I think there's a dog around here, and then you turn around and get jumped by the dog. Like, that would be a sick way to start off the film.
A real good Resident Evil. That'd actually be a good Resident Evil part too.
True, but I'm just saying, like, because the like way to start going into a game, because you don't know what to expect, and there's like a fog everywhere, and you're like, fuck, what's gonna happen? And jumps out, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I forgot to wear my brown pants today.
Oh yeah, just understand, Resident Evil 2, it's not joking around with how they remade it. I watched a little bit part of it, and oof. I will give props to whoever remade it and made it more gory, but it was detailed of what happened to a tyrant. There was a part in the game where William Birkin tore a tyrant in half, basically, or almost.
Damn.
And it's just like, hold up, he's mutated. How the hell does he still have human emotions?
Because I wrote him that way. That's my answer, man.
I mean, that would be something to introduce, like something to show why he did what he did. But yeah, that is a game I need to save money up for and do play.
True.
Yeah, same.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for tonight. It's o'clock, and as usual, I gotta run and go do dad stuff. So thanks everyone for the 17th episode of Sinister Sunday. Hope you enjoyed myself and the Rebellion panel ramble on about some of our favorite horror, movies and favorite horror icons and some of the cool upcoming stuff in the future, and listen to us kind of geek out about our, potential ideas for horror films that they should do, but probably never will, unfortunately. But thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks to the panel below for helping me out. And if you guys have not already, please go subscribe to Lord Husk from Husk's Evil Empire. Please subscribe to Azag from Azag's Abyss. Subscribe to our newest Rebellion family member, Matthew from the Green Iron Cannibal YouTube channel. So yeah, make sure you check them all out. Make sure you subscribe. These boys put out excellent content on a usually weekly basis. And yeah, thank Michael Zane Dillinger for being a supporter of the Rebellion family and popping on and chatting with us for a bit. I hope experience chatting with the Rebellion family here with us. It was a pleasure to have you. And have a good evening, guys.
You guys too. Thanks for having me on.